It's Song Talk Radio.
Welcome to Song Talk Radio, the show with songwriters talking to other songwriters about the craft of songwriting. We share tips, tools, and techniques, and together we all become better at writing songs. Dialing in from our headquarters in Toronto, I'm Neil Modi, and with me, my co-host, Phil Ebery. How you doing, Phil?
Doing pretty good, calling in from St. John's, Newfoundland. And I've had a bit of a martini, so I'm very happy. Not a whole martini, just a bit. Just a bit of martini.
Is that why you were late coming to the podcast today? By a few minutes? Just pouring your martini?
My computer was drinking.
Your computer was drunk, as far as I could tell, a few minutes ago.
It was doing weird stuff. What can I say?
Completely wasted. Right. And for everyone else, please send your comments, questions, cocktail recipes to at Song Talk Radio on Facebook or Instagram, or feedback at songtalk.ca for the email, and we'll share your thoughts on the show. And please visit songtalk.ca to see the show post for this episode, find links to resources we mention, and to download lyric and chord sheets. Follow along with the songs that we feature. Today, we're very pleased to welcome Toronto-based artist Robert Ball back to the show. How you doing, Robert?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. We actually looked up your previous episode. Your first appearance on the show was June 2019 in the before times.
Wow.
Live in the studio downtown.
Yeah.
TMU.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Amazing. So welcome back.
To be back. But now virtually.
That's true.
Yes, everything's virtual because Phil's in a whole different time zone. And here we are.
I'm calling in from the future, the horrible, horrible future.
Oh, no.
Oh, is it not much better?
No, it's not.
I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic that hour by hour.
Yeah.
So
well, we'll be there in 90 minutes. It's not. It's it's a Disney film. 90 minutes from now, of course, we'll never be caught up. It'll always be 90 minutes.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. And before we get to Robert's stuff, just one thing I've been engaging in the last week or so, the Toronto Public Library, this is for listeners in Toronto, is doing an innovator in residence about artificial intelligence. And I've gone to a couple of the workshops. On April 10th, I went to building experimental music with AI tools, and the host there was basically trying to get us to break Suno. He's like try to suggest some really weird ideas to Suno and see what happens. And everyone had their library issued laptop and kind of playing around, and he went through a whole history of experimental music and stuff like that. And then the one I went to just the other day was writing AI prompts in Suno to actually get the music you want. So the instructor actually developed his own sort of syntax system for, getting really, really specific with your prompts on Suno, and actually getting, drilling down to like specifics of song sections and what you want to do with your song. And I actually played around with it. I actually played around with the free version of Suno because I arrived late to that workshop, so I couldn't get a laptop that was the library ones actually have Suno Pro on them, and I could only use the one on my phone, which was the free version. And I actually managed to come up with something that was kind of a modern country song that I'm actually pretty happy with. And I was glad that I was able to do it on my phone under my own account as opposed to the library's account, because then today I spent a little more time with it, refined the lyrics a little bit, because Suno's lyrics were good, but they were not perfect, and they're still not perfect. But you can reiterate, and they actually showed us tools within Suno for reusing the existing prompt and refining things as you go along. Because my earlier experience with Suno was that if you did it once, that was it, and if you tried to do it again, it would come up with a completely different song. But you can actually do it so that I want to keep the music that you wrote, but I just want to change some of the lyrics, and it'll actually do it. So it's kind of a cool thing. It's kind of fun, experimental, just working away with those sorts of things. How about you, Robert? Have you ever engaged with Suno or any other AIs in your songwriting?
Just the GPS, Chat GPT.
Chat GPT, yeah.
I've steered generally clear, as I'm still apprehensive and nervous and learning about it as it's learning and as we continue to learn about it. and I initially was producing a show last summer, and I had to do like, I don't know, like 11 or 12 contracts. And I said, wait a minute, this might be the time. And so I used ChatGPT to build those contracts, which was really helpful. So I've been tempted. I have used it a couple other times since, just for, what was I doing? I think because I vocal coach, and I think some of my students, we were just trying to brainstorm themes for cabarets or song ideas. And so I've gone into ChatGPT and said, hey, give us these songs. What's the theme? I do have a singer friend. I call her my singer wife. Actually, that's right. We built a show that we did at the Rex called Love, Sex, and the Blues. And the set list was helped to kind of partly built out of ChatGPT. Oh my God, I've used it more than I thought.
That's how it starts, before you know it.
Yeah.
It was really interesting looking at the lyrics, Neil, that it did, because it was in some ways very clear about how to write lyrics, to how each verse was very kind of focused, and the lines were focused on very clear ideas. And I think sometimes our lyrics can be a little bit wishy-washy, like they're not very clear about what they're about, like verse 1 or verse 2 or verse 3. They're a little bit sort of vague and sometimes metaphorical. And the lyrics that it came out with were very clear about it. Like, they did kind of work for that, but they were very clear about how they work together. So it's actually worthwhile looking at the lyrics from the show notes and seeing how they work from a verse to verse, because it's kind of a very obvious way. And I don't think maybe a human would have done it that way, but a machine doing it sort of highlights how, in some ways, you can write a cohesive verse. And I think sometimes, the difference between people who are starting out and maybe people who are mastering songwriting is that they're able to have a verse that's very, very clear and very, very, very tight about what it's about. And so I thought that was quite good. But one thing, if you haven't tried ChatGPT or one of the AI things, I don't use it for music because I like making music. That's kind of the fun thing. So why would I get a machine to do that? However, I was able for it to take a whole bunch of PDFs of bank statements and turn them into comma-separated value files that I could then import into my business accounting software. Nice. So in the old days, I'd have to go through each line and make it in, but this just uploaded it. It said, take this and turn this into a CSV file to import into my accounting software, and it did it in 10 seconds, and it was done. Yeah. So it's great for that kind of stuff.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Productivity stuff like that. Yeah. But with the lyrics, I mean, most people in the workshop, I think, were just doing. Actually, some people they also recommended if you want an AI to write your lyrics, then go to Claude. Don't necessarily go to Suno or Jazz. Claude is pretty good at that. Write your lyrics in Claude, then copy and paste them into Suno, right? Or you can just leave lyrics blank and it'll make up something. Yes, but the prompt. But sorry, Robert, what was that?
I was going to say, some of the same technology that they're using in, I think they're using Suno in musical theater, but like for charting and for tech alignment of like tracks, live instrumentation.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But that's a particular AI system that they're using where like if you have a drummer that has a pad, clicks the track, and it's so it doesn't like, with the older click tracks, if you fall out of time with the click track, then it's a wrap, but this one can be more manually controlled. I think it might be a similar technology.
Oh, neat. Okay. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's an interesting implementation. Yeah. But the prompt I basically gave it was write I think it was the general idea was epic orchestral modern country song. With the lyrical idea was to be the intersection between junk food items and recreational sports. So it started clashing those two things together in every line of the lyric. I'm like, this is kind of fun, and it kind of makes for a cool, fun country song. But it wasn't perfect. So I managed to use one of the tools and say, redo the prompt, and then it put in the lyric that it had developed, and I went through the lyric line by line and be like, this doesn't quite make sense. This doesn't quite make sense. Not as unified as you say, Phil, than it was before. So I managed to just refine it a little bit more, so it made a little more sense and was more unified. But that's certainly true, Phil, because a lot of the time, lyrics can sometimes be the case where the songwriter knows what they're talking about and they think they're explaining it well in their lyric, but it comes out, kind of metaphorical or kind of, or kind of, kind of vague and something like that. And when they sing it, when they read it, they know exactly what the backstory is and where it came from. But it's hard to sort of put yourself in the listener's perspective and be like, if you don't know the context behind this, are they going to really understand it? And that's one trait, I think, of country songs too, because I'd never written a country song before too, right? So I was just trying to play with the ideas. And that's one trait of the thing, is that the stories are usually extraordinarily clear what they're about. even if there is a metaphor, it's just clear as anything. Right.
Yeah, very cool.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, but for our Toronto people, the workshops are continuing in April, May, and even into June. So we'll put a link in the show post to the page on the library's website. They're all free. Some of them you have to sign up for. Some of them are just general admittance. But yeah, they got a pretty cool thing going. If you're just curious about the topic or interested in engaging with it, and they seem to split the class between like a little bit of lecture style teaching, and then let's play around with Suno and see what everyone can come up with. It's kind of fun.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and then your local library has a ton of resources that you probably don't know about. So it's worthwhile going there and exploring it. A lot of them have music you can borrow. Some have instruments you can borrow. Some have studio time you can borrow. But well worth it. And libraries are wonderful, wonderful things.
Oh, yeah. The library up in Vaughan, the new one they built a few years back, they have a green screen room with video cameras. They have an electronic drum kit. They have like Logic on a Mac with an interface. It's like a full recording video and music recording studio that you can borrow. You can borrow the space, go in there with your jam buddies and produce a track, like boom.
Awesome stuff.
Pretty cool. Yeah. Nice. Amazing. Okay, on to the main event. Robert Ball is a singer, multi-hyphenate artist with a, quote, a voice that's smooth as silk, according to BroadwayWorld.com. His theater credits include Evita, Joseph, Chicago, Song for a New World, and Tremonisha. Robert appeared as the principal character, Arthur, in the movie Christmas on Fifth Avenue. He was featured in the Stratford Festival streaming cabaret series Canadian Mixtape and Up Close and Musical. Robert is a vocal coach and mentor with the NIA Center for the Arts and vocal tutorial coach at Sheridan College, and the recipient of the inaugural Black Shoulders Award. As a solo artist, Robert has opened for Maya, Big Freeda, and toured Pride festivals in Toronto, Kingston, Jamaica, Brooklyn, New York, Washington, D.C., and London, Ontario. He's also toured with the Freedom Cabaret and the Legends of Motown. Wow, that's great. And tonight we're going to be talking to Robert about his song, I Need a Man. Be sure to download the lyric sheet on the show post at songtalk.ca to follow along. Let's take a listen.
My bed, laying here, touch me there. I need a man, hold me tight, don't let go, stay all night. I need a man, talk to me, let's be free. I need a man. I need a man. I need a man. I need a man. in my bed. Touch me here, hold me there. I need a man to know me right and hold me tight and say goodnight. To know my name and see my face and feel my pain. I need a man. I need a man. I need a man. I need a man. Oh, I need a man to rub my back right by my side, day and night. Roll once, roll twice. I hold the dice. I need a man. I need a man. I need a man. I need a man. Oh, I need a. Oh, I need a. Oh, I need a. Hang your coat. Take off your shoes. Here's a glass of wine. Please stay a little while. 'Cause tonight I need a man in my bed, laying here. Just stay here, touch me there, stay all night, hold me tight. I need a man. Oh, I need a man. Oh, oh,
Wow.
Nice. I like the there's that oh, it was a key change. It's kind of going into a bridge.
Yeah.
I really like that part. That sort of, because it was quite not static, but it was very much of a thing, and that kind of sort of brought it and turned it a really nice way. It was really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, it really brightens it up and makes the whole thing sound kind of more epic.
Yeah.
It's like really taking you on this journey. It's quite
A different sense of urgency. There's forget how many key changes. There's a couple that are disguised, but then that's the one where it modulates the most, and it's built into like a bit of a bridge section. Yeah. But it definitely makes it a little bit more higher stakes, more urgent, if anything.
Mm-hmm. It's nice to have a key change once in a while. You know, it's a long song. I mean, it's 4:14, which is long, but it's not boring because you have lots of stuff going. You know.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I don't know why I lean into. I don't know. I feel like I'm cheating when it's the short kind of standard radio cut length of song. Yeah. You know, even if there's repeats, I don't know, maybe it's like the kind of jazz formula thinking, maybe it's the combination of that and musical theater world thinking. Because I'm like really a live artist at heart. So I guess maybe that's why they tend to just be a little bit more stretched out.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's, to me, it's more, it's a little bit that kind of a funk jam, groovy. You know, you got that groove, and you can just kind of loop it and play with melodies and do different things, right? Which kind of you do, like you start bringing in the backing vocals and start doing slightly different things. There's one point where you need a man is just held on, and then you bring it and you drop back in. Like there's a lot of stuff going on. But like we were talking earlier about really, really focused lyric. Like, how do you go? This is what I'm curious about. How do you go for a 4-minute song? And there's, I mean, story. You know, it's really, really hyper focused on this on the one thing, and that's it. And we're not exploring different areas. Even the bridge is not all that different.
Right. But like in a very subtle, but to me at least very meaningful and palpable way, there's really just nuanced things about this one desire.
Yeah.
You know, what are the things? Why I need a man, but why? These really things that we often take for granted in a relationship or in intimacy. And so it's those little like drops. It's like, oh yeah, oh yeah, that's all I want. That's all. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Like there's a lot of detail. There's a lot of the different aspects of the one thing, right? So yeah.
The song, cool. Interestingly, came to me. It was a bit of a journey getting to it. I was on a cruise ship. I think I got back after a couple of drinks and I was just feeling lonely. So literally that's where just like playfully that refrain came to me. And I heard it in the voice of Jill Scott, who is like, I love her storytelling, both vocally and lyrically. And I like how she colors. She kind of plays in both the abstract and in the like literal, you know, and I like that in her writing style. So just playfully in my cabin on the ship, that refrain kind of came to me. And it sat in voice notes, I think, or at the time we didn't even have voice notes, like GarageBand notes for years. And then I started writing this show, which I'm still kind of developing and writing and working. It's probably going to be called A Play with Music, although I consider it a musical. And the particular character that would sing this song I based on, because it's set during the Harlem Renaissance, is based on Ethel Waters. And she was, you know, in the 1920s, early 1930s, she was this kind of unlikely Black leading lady, both on Broadway and in cinema. And so the song actually is very kind of flirty. And in my head, I still see the scene that I hope to actualize one day, where she's in a club, but she's working the crowd during the verse. And the verses are kind of more bluesy, rubato, and then the chorus actually picks up and it's swung. I need a man. I need a man. And so then what happened is I ended up getting an opportunity to kind of work it and write it with a collaborator of mine. We got a small residency for a month during the pandemic. And so that's when I kept writing a little bit more, evolved the verses, and the key changes and all of those modulated moments, but still in that style, in that very 1920s kind of jazz swing style. And then in 2020, whatever year it was, I got asked to sing at a virtual Pride, Toronto Pride, but virtually. And I didn't want to just kind of stand at my wall, my blank clear wall, and sing a song. So I said, what can I do? Well, I was like, I've been working on this song. Can I try to, because we were just still playing with the in-person, out-of-person stuff, right? So I was able to, at my collaborator's house, record some of the music, go to Toronto, record some of it, and readapted it to feel more like me, took the key down. And yeah, that's kind of how that iteration came about.
Wow. So it actually took a really long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, one of the
with a lot of breaks in between. It's not like you were working
on exactly.
Time. Yeah.
One of the advantages of being involved in musical theater is that you really understand where your voice sits well. So that you can sort of, we need to bring it down. Where I think beginning songwriters, sometimes you don't know that. You just you know how to play guitar, you know how to do a G and an A, so that's where you write stuff. But sometimes that doesn't fit where your voice naturally resonates. And sometimes working with a vocal coach or something can help you to find, oh, well, no, you're really good at, you know, in D or in G or something. And it helps you when you write stuff, you can write it in any key, but then, you know, if you're going to perform it, you need to capo your guitar or something. So that helps a lot, actually.
Even for me, I'm trying to be less precious about that, realizing now that like I'm brainstorming the show, working on this show, that everything I write might not be for me. And then if it is for me, how do I then transpose it for me? Because I find that sometimes songs that I write, even before when I was recording for myself, I didn't always love the keys in my voice. I fortunately have the range to sing it, but I don't think it was in the money parts of my voice.
Yeah. I find the sweet spot, right?
Yeah, the sweet spot. I probably should have changed the keys for them in those moments. Yeah, because well, it's like, Stevie Wonder. Some people just have a sensibility. Stevie writes a lot of stuff in E.
Yeah.
Which is not really a good key for anybody to sing in. But he's mastered it, right?
Yeah. It's also the first chord you learn when you're learning guitar, though. Is the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I find the same if I write a song that I didn't take to my band and the lead singer in our band sings quite a bit higher than I do, right? So I'm always just I get to the point now where I just assume it. I'm just going to write it in this key, and he's going to put whatever capo he feels comfortable at. Yeah. And we always play with it, a little bit here, a little bit there, and
it's usually
3 or 4 steps up from what I wrote it.
And when you put stuff in different keys, it sounds different too, which is something.
It does.
So that can also be a fun experiment, is just to, go up a half tone or a tone, and suddenly the stuff sounds a bit different. It can bring out some new melodies, some new notes that you wouldn't normally grab to.
Yeah.
And when you're in band with a guitarist, especially because, you may end up going from open chords to barred chords, higher up the neck, like whatever. Like it really could shift the tone of things quite a bit.
Yeah. So, what is the plan for this song?
Oh, well, I released it. So in full transparency, with that in mind, the setup I gave you, I feel like I rushed it. I released it because I was doing the Pride performance that particular season online, so I was able to squeak out a music video to release instead of just me standing against a wall and Zoom. And I was able to record the song and release it as well. So it's out there. It's in the ethos. I do kind of have the intention of pulling it down and just kind of tweaking and reworking a couple things.
Oh, really?
To release yourself, or in the context of the musical you're working on?
To release myself.
Okay.
And then the next stages of it are for the show. I'm actually now thinking about doing a concept album for it, because it's hard to get grants, time, money to do workshops to develop a musical.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Well, that's why they say typically a musical takes like 5 to 10 years before it hits. They say this is the model for Broadway, but it's true just in general. 5 to 10 years before you all see it, the standard audience sees it on stage on the grand scale. But there are some iconic musicals that started out as concept albums, song cycles. Jesus Christ Superstar is one. So I'm thinking about doing that. Because there's, I'd say what I assume is half of the music of the show has been conceptualized and or recorded, even if it's just referenced, but just in my voice. And I've put it in the ears of friends in the industry. And so if I can get some time and some money, then I think that's the next step for me. It's a little bit of a concept album on that.
How would the song change in a musical, or in that particular musical context? Because it's not
this particular song, it would be in a higher key. It'd be sung by a woman in the show. Well, actually, it might be both, because the characters the lead character is a Renaissance artist of the time. He's a producer, writer, arranger, as many folks of the Harlem Renaissance were. And so actually what happens is that the show kind of follows his life, and we see a bit of an inspiration of a song, and then when it manifests. So he's there with his lover, and his lover is a writer, a poet, and is working away, and he's in bed and is teasing his lover and saying, "Hey, I need a man in my bed. Like, come on, come to bed." And then we see it as a full song on his muse, who is the female character, inspired by Ethel Walker.
Okay, cool.
So I think that so there would still be like in the show that have some subtle underscoring, because it's really just mostly a cappella. It's not a real song at the time. when the lead character sings it, and then when she sings it, it's an actualized song. And like I said, so it'd be higher. The tempos would be similar, but like this version gives you a bit of a Sade kind of feel. The one in the show is going to definitely be more period to the 1920s. It's going to have that swing in the chorus. I think it's going to be even more deliberately guitar driven. Yeah.
Still do the modulations, you think?
Still do the modulations. Probably not as. That's a good question. They're going to have to sound different because we were modulating, or we were thinking about those kinds of modulations differently. The sustained one, definitely. Because that one to me is like a high stakes. That's when it's like, no, I've been a little flirty, but honestly, I'm kind of like a broken-hearted woman. I'm desperate. Like I'm looking for love. That moment needs that. It's almost like Celine Dion's "All by Myself."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you can have those big sort of dramatic moments in a musical theater context, right?
Exactly.
You can have some fun with that. That's pretty cool how you can think about how to recontextualize it and just hint at it here and then play it out full here, and you can really milk it for all it's worth. Right? Like really put out. Very cool.
Great stuff.
Cool.
All right.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to hearing about the concept album when it releases.
Well, hopefully it won't be another 7 years.
Yeah, well, like you say, if it takes that long to get a musical off the ground, then
that's right. Then it might.
Maybe it will be. All right. I think I'm here in the band. I think that's all the time we have on the show on Song Talk Radio. Special thanks to Robert Ball. And where can our listeners find out more about you and hear more music?
Yes, at Robert Ball Music is all of my social media. That's my Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and website, which I was very especially. And all of my music is on all streaming platforms. Robert Ball.
Cool. All right. Definitely link to that from our show post on the website, songtalk.ca. And we want to hear from you too, so please send your comments on Facebook or Instagram to @songtalkradio, or send us an email, feedback@songtalk.ca. And be sure to check out our YouTube channel for live performance videos and full episodes, and subscribe today to the Song Talk Radio podcast on your favorite podcast provider. And please support us at our Patreon page. You can visit songtalk.ca/support. Thanks to everyone who supported us so far. And please join us at our next monthly Song Talk meetup. Whether you're in Toronto for our in-person meetups or anywhere in the world for our online meetups, it's free to join on Eventbrite and free to attend the meetup. Bring a song and a lyric sheet and get constructive feedback from other songwriters. Visit songtalk.ca/meetup to register. You can follow me at neilmodi.com. You can follow Phil.
PhilEmery.ca.
And Robert, what's your favorite social media channel? Where do you post the most?
Instagram these days, at Robert Ball.
Cool. All right. Sure to follow Robert there. And be sure to stop by the website, songtalk.ca, to browse past shows and find out how you can be a guest. Thanks for tuning in, and keep on writing.
Good night, everyone.